What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the Calgary Flames. We have a lot of interesting things to go over, from obviously the big story being the contract situation between Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk. But we also have some other things to cover. The AHL team up in, I think they're in Stockton, California. Sounds like they may be moving closer to Alberta, closer to the Calgary Flames. So we'll be looking at all of that today. So let's start off with that first topic, which is official news. So the Flames are reportedly expected to relocate their American Hockey League affiliate of the Stockton Heat to Canada, in particularly the Calgary area, according to Tony Andronics of Inside AHL Hockey. The AHL Board of Governors is set to meet on Monday to discuss the divisional realignment. This is some good news here for Calgary and the Flames. What I think is so interesting about this whole thing, they made that big push to bring all those teams out to California, right? The Bakersfield Condors, AHL affiliate of the Oilers, the Stockton Heat, who were originally on the East Coast. They played up in Adirondack for a couple years. The Adirondack Phantoms, they were also the Flyers affiliate. The Adirondack Heat, they were in Abbotsford, up in toward Calgary. It made more sense then. So they've been all over the place. So you've got those two teams. You've got Bakersfield, Stockton, obviously San Jose's team coming in closer to home, the Ontario Reign, the San Diego Gulls. So we've definitely seen the expansion of California AHL teams. It's kind of become a kind of a hot spot for the American Hockey League, but unfortunately it hasn't really worked out the way that they maybe would have liked. And now it's not that, it worked at the time, but now we're seeing the Henderson, Silver Knights come in, the Seattle's Palm Beach team coming in. They can still have that California division, just maybe in different areas. And there's only so much of a saturated market that you can have. So it does make sense where you're like, all right, maybe we are going to change it up just a little bit. So again, I think this is good news for the Flames. It's closer to home. I think especially with all this COVID stuff that recently happened and crossing the border to get guys in, it does make sense why they would do this. I totally get where this is coming from. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if they went to Abbotsford. Again, it's still a little far, but it's definitely a lot closer than California. So we'll kind of see what happens there. Now, this is another report here from NHL Trade Rumors. The Calgary Flames have two core players with expiring contracts in Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk, and we'll get to those guys in a second. But they also have some other guys. Andrew Mangiapane is also in need of a new deal, and the Flames will need to free up cap space to bring back all three of those players. So some guys are going to have to be on their way out. Backlund is the big one we're hearing. Michael Backlund could get, unfortunately, he may be forced to be traded this summer. And this is according to Haley Salvian. So we're going to see them try to clear cap space. And that is a really good name we've been hearing. Michael Backlund. Michael Backlund is a guy that despite whether they keep Johnny Gaudreau or not, I do think they will trade Michael Backlund. He's been there for a really long time. He's been a member of the Flames as long as I can remember, really. So it would definitely be weird to see him on another team. He's getting paid a lot of money for the production he actually puts out there. They will probably have to throw in a nice little sweetener somewhere. I'm thinking a team like Arizona. I'm thinking a team like Seattle that would be willing to take that cap hit. But Michael Backlund can still play. That's the good news. But he's just aging, and again, it is a contract that does hurt. So I wonder if Calgary tries to move him out. Now this is where we get to Gaudreau and Tkachuk, and we're starting off with Johnny Gaudreau here. Johnny Gaudreau has been connected to the Philadelphia Flyers. Shocking news. Per Sam Carchidi of Philly Hockey Now. As we all know, he grew up a Flyers fan. He grew up in southern New Jersey, which is right in the prime demographic of the Philadelphia Flyers. It totally makes sense. We've heard this rumor for the past 2 years now. And it wouldn't be all that shocking. We've seen in recent years, I mean, John Tavares left the New York Islanders to go to his hometown team in Toronto back in 2018. So it's not that crazy of a thought that he would go to this team. Now it is a different scenario. The Calgary Flames have been a pretty good hockey team compared to what the Islanders were at the time. And, the Flyers would be, I would say, a considerable downgrade in terms of a franchise for a guy like Johnny Gaudreau, who's in the prime of his career. You look at the Flyers; they're about to start a rebuild. Is he really in the long-term plans of the Flyers? Of course, the Flyers would love to bring him in, but from Gaudreau's perspective, does that make sense necessarily? And if it's all about money and playing for the Flyers, he could probably get both from the Flyers. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But you also have to look at, again, if you want to chase that cup, do you want to sacrifice leaving Calgary and going to a downgrade in Philly? Again, it depends on how sold he is on playing for the Flyers. Because if he is dead set on playing for the Flyers, he's going to get some pretty good money as well. They will hopefully have the cap space to do that. So I could see Gaudreau going there, but if he wants to be playing closer toward the east, the northeast, without maybe playing in Philadelphia, the Devils are right up the road. They will have plenty of cap space, and again, he's still pretty close to home there. The New York Islanders are a really good team, and they might be able to make the cap space for Johnny Gaudreau. They need a scoring player. He would be playing alongside Matt Barzal, who was one of the best centers in the National Hockey League. So you could really make an argument there that he would be, in terms of a winning team and being somewhat close to home, Johnny Gaudreau to the Islanders does make sense. And if you want to go a little bit further away, I mean, he did play at Boston College, I'm pretty sure, or one of those Boston schools. You guys could let me know. But Johnny Gaudreau played in Boston, and you know where this is going. The Boston Bruins, depending on what happens with Berge and Patrice Bergeron, maybe they find themselves going after Gaudreau, and he ends up signing in Boston. So I think you're looking at him signing with one of those teams in the Northeast. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think it's out. I'm not saying there's a 100. I'm not even saying there's not a 1% chance that he returns to Calgary. I definitely think that's still in the cards. I think he's evaluating his options. At this point, I would give it a 15 to 85. 15% chance that he stays, 85% chance that he goes. Because if he was sold on staying in Calgary, he probably would have signed ink, pen to paper already. Ink on paper, whatever you want to say. The euphemism is, but that is where I think we're looking at Gaudreau. I do think he will leave the Flames more likely than not. The question is, if he does hit the open market, where does he end up? And again, what is his mindset? Is he really that sold on Philadelphia? And that we're pretty much going to soon find out. So I started off with the bad news because I want to end today's video on a good note here for the Calgary Flames, and that is the situation with alternate captain Matthew Tkachuk. And this is from Eric Francis. Matthew Tkachuk is very open to signing a long-term extension with the Calgary Flames. In quote from Matthew Tkachuk, "I would be very open. I've loved it here. I've grown up here. I came here and didn't really know anything about Calgary, just kind of loved the people here and, how great they've made my life here." So there's definitely a reason to believe that he will return to Calgary. It's going to come at a pretty cost, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he got somewhere between $9 to $10 million per season. This is a very good hockey player. He's tough to play against. He is the next Brad Marchand type player, right? He could score goals, but he could also kind of get a little bit, towing the line with how aggressive he plays. And I think that's really something that we're lacking in today's game. And he's able to defend his teammates, but also score. And that is the ultimate duo when you have guys like that. And they do come at a premium in terms of on the market. So we'll see what happens. The good news here is Matthew Tkachuk is a restricted free agent, so he will not be a UFA, unlike Johnny Gaudreau this summer. So there's a little bit more certainty knowing that Tkachuk will likely return to Calgary. So that is it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. One of two things. Johnny Gaudreau, where does he end up? Does he go back to Calgary? Does he go to the Flyers? Does he go up to Boston? Does he go to the Islanders? Let me know what you guys think. And also, with Matthew Tkachuk, I'm a little more certain that he will stay in Calgary and be playing there opening night next season. What does his contract structure look like, right? I assume it's going to be a max-term deal, probably looking at an 8-year deal, somewhere between $9 to $10 million per season. Let me know what you guys think of that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.